Welcome to Spiritual Game. I'm your host, XL the Stoner, and today we want to thank you for joining us on The Best Time Is Now. So, with that said, we're going to get right into today's topic, which is changing the rhythm. And speaking on changing the rhythm, we have to think about the way that the cycle works. It goes up against us and it works for us. So at times, things can go slower or in a faster pace depending on how you position yourself in the particular cycle that you're in. So in changing the rhythm, it's kind of understanding the cycle that you're experiencing in the now and being able to adjust to the situation, to the relationship, and to whatever you are committed and connected to. And while changing the rhythm is not changing the situation or bringing forth any disturbance into what you have already put in place, but it's also a way to control the pace of your decision making. Maybe controlling the pace of allowing yourself to respond to the way people are reacting to you or respond to the way that life is kind of coming your way. So controlling the pace is not really looking into the bad side or the good side, but it's just making yourself ready for the best time, which is now. And so when we talk about changing the rhythm, it's just being aware of the cycle that we're experiencing in the now and being able to adjust our thinking, our reactions, and our response to those around us. And I want to say a big Rafiki Ungu to all my family, friends, and loved ones. I hope everyone gets something from today's topic in changing the rhythm, because we don't want to allow outside things to predict how we think, react, and respond, not only to ourselves but to the situation, most importantly, because we don't want to give in to someone or a situation which will lead us in a way which could be misled in people's opinion, in people's views, and people's standards and traditions. When they see you stand on your own or stand for what you believe, it can throw your rhythm off or throw the rhythm off of what is already occurring in the current moment, in the present time. So just being aware of all that, we have to have some understanding on how to control the cycle and see how it works in our favor and when it's working against us. And when maybe it's working against us, maybe we rely on other ways of dealing with others or a situation compared to when things are working in our favors and we can deal with things in a more favorable way for us. So with knowing that, we have to understand that it also has to be something that we are aware of in our relationships, and we have to appreciate the growth of the relationship and appreciate the growth of others that we are committed to and that we are around, and that's a part of our path, and that's in our present time. So appreciating each other's growth allows us to change the rhythm not only into our favor but into others, because others can use a push or help or some motivation or just some encouragement to continue on facing or dealing with their current situation. We all are in different positions and look at life in different angles, so we have to be able to share and be able to take time to listen to the response of what we're sharing to others and see how they're taking it in and see if it's helping them or it's not really connecting with them, or it could be totally something trying to destroy them or to bring their vibration to a lower state. So we have to be very careful and understand we have to allow growth, even if that means time apart or even taking time to change your surroundings, your friends, circle of friends you hang out with, etc. All these things allows us to control the pace of how we want to think and react and respond to the present time and moment, which is the best time. So using now as being the best time, we can increase our vibration to assist the healing process. And I say healing process because on the opposite side of happy and joy is pain and hurt. So with that, we have to deal with both sides of the cycle. And in this time, in this particular moment, we're going to see and be able to feel more of that pain. So with that said, we have to be able to take those wounds that we have covered up and kind of patched up from the past and address them in the present moment when something brings it to our attention, or someone brings it to our attention, or it's triggered off in a situation or environment. We're going to have to really be conscious of what those pains did to us and how it affected us, and now that baggage that we have to clean out, being that this is spring and we're cleaning and cleansing and getting ready for this new growth. That means that we also have to deal with all the old roots and weeds that we have in our garden and in our yard and in our mind. And these things that we have in our mind are hurting us, and we have to face these thoughts and take on what comes with it. And that could be a lot. So, with understanding that there's a growth coming after this pain should give you the sense of what you might need to do to face your pain, to face your hurt, to face your wounds now, so you can move forward with a more rapid speed or a more rapid healing. So something you can know about this Aries New Moon is that the major theme of this cycle is going to be dealing with your wounds and healing. And when someone is self-afflicting their own wounds, it's very hard to realize what you're doing, not only to yourself, but to those around you. So those close around you may bring it to your attention how much you've been putting yourself in a position of pain, or really entertaining your pain body, so to say, and letting that be the source of energy that you give into your daily or present moment. And when they call you out on that, you might feel offended, or you might feel threatened, or you might feel disrespected in some ways of how they're calling you out on their honest opinion or truth to the situation or of the person that they might be addressing. And when this is something hard to deal with, someone confronting you with this type of energy, it's hard to discern if it's really coming from a good place, or is it really coming out of guilt or out of some negative energy. But we have to understand that either way, this pain has to be addressed. And this is the best time in the now to address it, so the healing process could not only begin, but it also might be completed and released and taken away and off your path moving forward, which things can get deep depending on the weight that you hold. So this baggage from the past can really be a blessing that is being exposed or is being revealed now, so that you can move and leave back in the past what you've been holding inside, this pain that hasn't been dealt with. It hasn't been given the proper healing. And we'll talk about healing and methods and traditions and ways that you can do to heal oneself and to heal those around you that you might have hurt through your actions and through your words. There's ways to replenish that and heal and have new growth with that situation or with that person or in that relationship. That's all possible, and we know that's possible because of higher powers that's in play in everything that's we touch and we think down here. So it's a lot to really take in, but when you are allowed, well, when you allow yourself to be in the present moment, you can see that those things from the past can no longer hurt you when you address them in the now. So it's very key to really just know how you're handling the situation, because you're being approached with your old self versus your current self. And that could be a totally different person for some of us if we are changing the rhythm of how things are going, or making strides to becoming more of who we are and knowing what we want. And that current self might be totally different from your old self. So can you afford to treat those same people the same way? And that's including yourself. That's something that you should think about now, because new growth is right behind where we're at now. And this cycle can help you move forward and going forward with the right structure, with the right thoughts, and with the right people that will allow you to make these changes and allow you to change the rhythm without throwing off the beat that the collective have. Because we as a collective, we make a collective sound and have a collective rhythm, but we don't want to change it till we throw off the complete sound or the collective sound. So with that said, we have to be careful with the words that we use in the next 30 days, because our thought will impact alone how things are going to move forward for us or against us. So it speaks about our tongue being the sword. With these next 30 days, your sword is at its sharpest. And with that, let's see if changing the rhythm can bring forth the momentum that you're pushing until this new growth. Like your sword might need to chop down a few things to clear the path, but that could be with yourself. It might not be against anyone else or towards anyone else. It could be something within that you see that you haven't been giving yourself enough credit for, or you haven't been accountable for what the results have been giving you. Now you have a chance to sharpen not only your sword, but to use it to clear out that baggage or to clear out that space for new growth that's coming right after this cycle that we're in now. And so just something that might help is try to take out at least 1 minute out of the day and tell yourself, or just think of things that's uplifting, positive, beautiful, strong, anything that's bringing up the energy and the vibration. That's something that you want to do for a minute. And each day of this Aries cycle, take another minute and add to it and see the momentum and the energy that you can create to move forward in this healing process for not only yourself but for those around you. And allowing yourself this time is very important, and we'll talk a little bit about that in other planets and the aspects that they are asking you or expecting you to know, that you have to be aware of time and how you use it for the benefits that you have if you have the time. And if you don't, then the time that you're using, are you using it to create, or are you using it to be destroyed in some way, shape, or form? So with trying that, I just want to talk a little bit about what's going on with a few planets and their aspects that might impact the new moon that we're going to have on the 1st of April 2022. And Chiron, which is a planet that we don't speak much about, but is definitely a planet to understand in these next 30 days, this cycle, because it represents the deepest wounds of your soul. And that means what you're dealing with now is something that's the soul has already prepared itself to go against. So you can't hide from the soul. And now that the soul has something to go against, it's Aries season. It's war, it's action. It's a time to take the initiative. So be careful not to take the initiative or go at war with someone because the energy is pushing you that way. But understand it might be pushing you inwards to take on that fight and to deal with those pains that the soul is calling for, and not just what you see on the surface or what you know or understand in the relationship that you're in, or in the environment that you're in. There's a lot that you can understand or have the ability to understand that can not only just heal yourself, but it can heal others by just knowing that this is the time for it, and the best time is now. And that's why we're here talking about changing the rhythm and increasing and raising our vibration, because these next 30 days it's at its highest manifestation. And so we don't get this type of energy throughout our cycle or any cycle. This is a cycle or part of the cycle where it's working for us, meaning it's easier to be aware of how we feel and how we want to feel, and maybe even have the solution to even feel that way right now, which is most important. But before we can get there, the increase of the awareness of the wounds that we have can make things more sensitive to the pain. And that goes to each individual and how we deal with pain. And sometimes we deal with pain in a negative way, and we try to bring on that pain to others in our environment, which we do way too much in our environment. So we have to understand that this pain that comes up is going to be very sensitive, and when things are very sensitive, things can get out of control. We can get to our highest rage. This is fire season. There's a lot that can just take off in a second, and that's where we need to know how we're dealing with the pain. And not only how we're dealing with the pain, but can we allow this pain that we're having in the cycle fuel our energy and bring the level up. And I say the level, but we're trying to raise our vibration, and we can use all type of energy to raise the vibration. And right now, with this pain and getting rid of it, maybe we raise our vibration and convert this pain into a power or some type of game where we control our emotions, because that is power when you can control your emotions. And the best time is now. So think of that when you are faced with pain and how you're dealing with it and where you want to direct that energy, because you can really take this energy and convert it into some type of power, and not power over others, but power over yourself, which is more powerful, and it will be more helpful in the now. So that's something that can help us. And I say help us because this is a collective time, because these next 30 days could not only heal you, but heal others. So if you feel that your wounds are sewed up and you are ready and you are 100%, then maybe you can take time on healing others around you, those in need of the extra time and just love, so to say, energy that can really impact them in a positive way without asking for anything in return, because that's what we need, and especially our youth need at this particular moment, is a lot of love to deal with the pain that comes with life. And some of us don't experience the same life as others, and when you witness someone going through a pain that you never experienced, or a pain that you might have experienced at a different time, and you understand that that pain was so hard to deal with that it changed you because you chose not to deal with it. Think about that person that's going through this pain that they don't understand. So it's important, if you have the time and the understanding of the cycle of pain, and someone might be going through a tough time in their cycle of their pain, to lend them out an extra ear or hand, just what is considered true natural love, is something that's, it can't be taken for granted at this time. They can definitely use it and move forward. And that's what we're trying to do, is change the rhythm, so when it's time to move forward, the momentum is there. So just think about where you are, and if you're stuck, because in some areas we are stuck, analyze your options and see what you have in the now, meaning what opportunities do you have to get out of being stuck. Because right now is the time to heal from those wounds that keep us stuck in the past, or in a time that no longer exists, which we don't forget it, but in the present moment in time, there's no time to be there because we're here. And you can't be in two places at once, and you can't go back in time, you can't go in front of time. So you're, if anything, stuck in the now. So if you're analyzing that, you can understand that your problem doesn't come from the now. Your problem is coming from your past or the future. So we're going to try to stay present so we can see the problems that we have in our time and space in the now, and adjust and change the rhythm and increase and raise our vibration, because there's a lot going on to where if you understand how to change your rhythm, then you won't fall in a time where things might be against you depending on your cycle, because we're all not in the same position in life. So some things are going against us and not for us, and then vice versa, things could be going for us and not against us. So we have to appreciate all sides of the cycle, but also be aware that if there's a need to change the pace or change the rhythm because you don't want to fall into the lost confidence or depression or self-pity, you have to really watch your thoughts and how you direct your words towards others. And meditation could be a key into building a shield to kind of block your energy field, especially in the beginning of the month with this new moon, because the pace is going to be coming at you, and you're going to be wanting to go and take action, and it might be the right time, and then you might need to go at the right moment or speed, so to say. But pacing it out is going to be definitely important. And for me, I'm a sports player, so I like to analyze things in basketball. And April, we all know mid-April is playoff season. So the pace of the game is going to slow down, and it's going to get into a thinking man's game. It's going to get into a more physical game, but coming from a thinking level. So that's where the action is going to take place. And so in the meditation that you have, it's very important to build that inner space that you are working from, and that you're storing your power in gaining your spiritual wealth. Okay, so obstacles and tests of endurance, it leads to emotional and mental toughness, and that's exactly what you have to have in this moment, because there going to be a lot of things going against you depending on your position in the cycle. With Aries and war and action, there's really no defense in what's coming at you. So being prepared to have that emotional and mental toughness will go, it will be very knowledgeable to know, because you don't want to take on and fight something that you can actually heal from by just accepting or surrendering to. And I say surrendering because surrendering is something that frees you from it, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get free from this baggage so we can move on with less weight, so we're not feeling in a deep or heavy situation. But speaking on heavy situation, and with the Venus aspect, and where it's at, we can get more into specifics of where it's at later, but money might be tight, and not for all of us, depending on our cycle, where we're at in the cycle of life. But for some of us, and when I say for some of us, it's a good time to learn how to budget properly. And the reason why is because it's a risk that you might need it in near future. And you don't want to, get caught in a financial position where you put more things at risk because you wasn't prepared for the shift or the change in pace with how things might go forward, working for you or against you. It's just really depending where you're at in the cycle of life. But one thing is to know and to have a mutual love and respect and loyalty for yourself and those around you, because right now that's the foundation of what people can use to help heal and build on. And that's where you get the change, or you get to move forward when you see others doing and helping, supporting you to do the same. And that's to get to a level where you have the mutual love and respect and loyalty for those around you. And I said most importantly yourself, because you only reflect the light onto others. And so if you are reflecting a strong light, that is increasing your vibration, increasing their vibration, because there's more light. And the more light in the room, the more new growth you get. And that's where we all are trying to get to, new growth. And it's best to succeed, knowing that if you have to work alone, then this is the time that you can work alone. Or if you're not working alone, just knowing what you need to do and doing that is the part in the collective sound that the universe is having us, speak. And I say speak because the way we speak to each other should be the same way we speak to the universe. And the universe is something that we can't take for granted, so we can't take people in our relationships for granted either. So we have to appreciate, and one way of appreciation is using words and thoughts to build how you feel and think about that person or area, environment, or a group of people. It can vary on what you're trying to do, but by increasing your vibration, it's going to help you get into what we all need, is more spiritual nourishment to be able to feed out into the world. This time that we're in, we've been doing, or should have been doing, a lot of inner work. So now that spring comes, it kind of shows that new growth of what you've been thinking and how you've been preparing yourself to be around others now that we are able to travel and be in groups more. We have more that we have grown into show the nourishment of how strong we are now going forward. So with all this said, I just want to say that if you are aware of what's going on around you, then you're noticing that not only are things picking up, but your interaction with people or on social media, or just the information you're taking in, is leading you to make new friends or different decisions that you would have made in the past, or you have made in the past. And that's a sign of new growth as well, of looking at where you were making maybe the wrong decision at, and now you are now using your thoughts, your time in different ways. It's bringing back different results that you wanted, before, or in an earlier time, maybe in a career or anything that you're in, but now you're getting the benefits now because of the momentum switching, or just being able to see that you taking things not personally, but you're taking the challenge and disciplining yourself, and then applying the energy into practical ways and organizing better ways to get the results that you want. And that's what's most important, is using the now to address what has been stopping you or has been giving you a problem, and come up with a solution so you can move forward, and not really just settling for the same results and thoughts that you've been having, that's bringing about things and putting in positions that you don't want, and having to deal with a lot of different type of energies and things that shouldn't be really on your path or even on your radar, so to say. But we create these illusions that we want to see because of our thoughts and the things that we allow in and out of our mind. So with all that said, just, slow things down and kind of organize and be patient and just see how things are more productive when you allow yourself to change the rhythm of things and adjust the pace and control the pace of things. That's really where you become in the best time, and that's the now. And I want to thank everyone out there that's with us tonight. It is, April the 1st, a new moon, so set your attentions. Know that this is the time to heal, and know this is the time to go through the pain. So give your time space, and give yourself some space, and then also give yourself time to allow yourself to respond and react the correct way that you want to show the growth and see the growth in others, and not continue to just see the reaction of something that wasn't really the energy that was set out to be. Okay, but once again, thank you again, Rafiki Ungu, and Ashe.